One of the things you need to do is measure the rod bearing clearance to the crankshaft. You also need to do that with the main bearings as well. But it's the same procedure, so I'm just going to demonstrate it on the rod bearings, and then you can also do it on the main bearings. We're going to use what we call Plastigage, which comes in long strips like this. And what it is a little plastic material. You can barely see it right there. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to break off a small piece of that, a little chunk of it. And we're going to lay that chunk right here on the bearing. And you want to lay it so that it is laying crossways like that. So you can see that. Then I'm going to take the bearing cap and install the bearing cap on here. And we're going to torque the bearing cap down to the full torque specification on it. And on this one here, it happens to be 15 foot-pounds plus 90 degrees. So, and once you have Plastigage in the crankshaft, you don't want to rotate the crankshaft. Okay, so just when you install that, we're going to crank it down, we're going to measure, and then we're going to take the cap back off, and we have to clean the Plastigage off from the crankshaft. One of the things I forgot to show you before I put the cap on is, let me torque this, is making sure that you wipe all the oil and excess stuff off from the crankshaft, and before you put the Plastigage on there. And I already did that before I started the camera. So let's Okay, we've already torqued the cap down. I've loosened the bolts again. We're going to pull the cap off. And you can see that discoloration there. That's the Plastigage. And so what we do is we just line it up with whatever space here matches up. And so that one there matches up pretty good. And that is, my eyeballs will work right. I think that says 0.091. I might have to get a magnifying glass out and look. I can't quite read that. But anyway, that's our bearing to crankshaft clearance. So we'll check the specs and see if that's within specifications. And then what we want to do is we want to clean this off. And it just kind of rubs away. It's more or less just wax, kind of a plastic type wax material. And so if you just use a rag, you can wipe it off from the crankshaft. And then you would want to do that on each one of the rod bearing journals and each one of the main bearing journals as well. And so once we get that complete, then we'll go ahead and put the rod caps on all of the pistons, and we'll be finished installing the crankshaft. So I went and got my magnifying glass, and I was able to read that. It says 0.002 inches or 0.051 millimeters. And the specs I have is in inches, and it says that the specs are from 0.002 to 0.007 are within specifications. So this engine here, or this journal that we just measured, is within specification. So like I say, we'll want to measure all the rest of them and all the main bearings, and we'll be good to go.